This is Tar Heel Talk, an in-depth look at the issues and people making news in North Carolina. Here's your host, Sonia Williams.
In North Carolina, more than 14,000 children are in foster care, and while some will be adopted, others will find themselves on their own when they turn 18 and age out of the foster care system. That's where organizations like the Hope Center at Pullen come in to prevent those teens from becoming homeless after leaving the system by helping them find jobs, housing, and overall support. And joining me now to tell us more about the Hope Center at Pullen is Stacy Bluth, Executive Director of the organization. Stacy, welcome to Tar Heel Talk.
Thanks so much for having me.
The Hope Center at Pullen was founded in 2009. Give us some history on the organization and its mission.
Sure. The Hope Center at Pullen was really founded to help those people in the community who are most often overlooked and forgotten. And over the years, we've really focused in on young people aging out of foster care because they're one of our community's most at-risk populations, and there aren't a lot of organizations working to support them.
And as you mentioned, children aging out of foster care, actually children who are in foster care are more at risk for various areas than their counterparts. Talk a little bit about some of the challenges that youth in foster care face, and especially when they're aging out.
Sure. So most young people who are in foster care have been either abused or neglected by their biological family. So they already have incredible trauma that they're carrying with them. And then on top of that, on their 18th birthday, they age out and are literally on their own. And I don't know about you, but when I was 18, I was not ready to be on my own.
Not at all.
Especially in today's world. So these young people face enormous hurdles. More than 1 in 4 will be homeless by their 19th birthday. Half of the young men will be incarcerated before their 19th birthday, and half of the young women pregnant. And then what's even more shocking is that only about half will ever graduate from high school, and about 10% will set foot inside of a college ever.
So this support in helping them to transition is crucial, not just to their development, but really to our society as a whole.
It definitely is. I mean, this is an often overlooked population, and they really need incredible comprehensive support. Everything from help with health care, their physical and mental health, to jobs and housing. Their needs are tremendous.
When you talk about the need in Wake County, I mentioned that there are more than 14,000 children in foster care in North Carolina. What do those numbers look like in Wake County?
So one of the most interesting things is in Wake County, only about 40 young people will age out of foster care each year. And you know, they have a lot of needs, but that's a number we can all as a community do something about. You know, 40 is an easy number to help.
When you talk about the support systems that are needed, talk a little bit about the services that the Hope Center at Pullen provides for these students.
So at the Hope Center, we really pride ourselves on being a hub of services for these young people to empower them. We really believe that young people in foster care have had a lot of things done to them and for them. And we really put them in the driver's seat of their own life. And we, as a hub of services, provide everything from support in housing, in education, in employment, physical and mental health, and also helping them build a support network so that they have people to rely on as they do this hard work of growing up.
When you look at what the foster care system has in place right now in terms of support for children, when you reach the age of 18 and the idea of being out on your own, it's no wonder, or I'm wondering why it's taken so long for an organization like the Hope Center to even come about. It seems like these systems, it would just be a no-brainer to have that transition.
Sure. Well, I think, you know, a lot of people expect the county and the government to be able to do it on their own. And the reality is they're doing a great job, but this takes a whole community to really work on this effort together. And so, I mean, Wake County is one of our biggest partners, and that's really exciting that this is really a partnership between the government and also nonprofit agencies working together.
And that's an excellent point, that it does take a community effort and more than just one organization to make this possible. And you're working with children who are aging out of foster care from the basics, anything from the basics of maybe how to balance a checkbook. There are lots of little nuances that I think a lot of us take for granted that we learn from our parents and growing up that isn't accessible to children in foster care.
I think that's very accurate. I mean, we are constantly surprised. We have young people who don't know how to boil water to make macaroni and cheese, a lot of young people who don't have driver's licenses, not to mention some of the other really important independent living skills that they're going to need.
How can people find out more information about the Hope Center at Pullen?
The best way is to visit our website, thehopecenter@pullen.org, and we've got lots of information there about the work we're doing and ways that people can get involved and volunteer.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll talk more in just a minute. Up next, she entered foster care at the age of 2 and eventually aged out. We'll hear her story and what she's doing to help other foster youth after these messages. The Hope Center at Pullen is a nonprofit organization that connects young people aging out of foster care in Wake County with resources to be self-sufficient. With us again is Stacy Bluth, Executive Director of the Hope Center at Pullen. Also joining us is Marcella Middleton. Marcella aged out of foster care and is now an advocate for foster youth and a current board member of the Hope Center at Pullen. Thank you for being with us.
Absolutely.
Marcella, you entered foster care at the age of 2. Tell us a little bit about your personal story and what you remember about growing up in foster care.
Absolutely. So I'm originally from Denver, Colorado, and I have 4 other siblings, 3 older brothers and a younger sister, and we entered the foster care system when I was 2. We were in and out of the foster care system, back and forth between my biological mother and foster parents, and it was just a slew of things that were going on at home that just kind of breached safety and just the well-being of us as kids with my mom. And I eventually ended up here in North Carolina when I was about 12 years old, and I entered in the foster care system here when I was about 13. I stayed in the foster care and just going through the foster care system during that time. It was difficult because I was a teenager and, I was going through that developmental stage and, just not always easy to work with because I didn't understand my circumstances, to the full extent. So I was really, really frustrated, and I went through a lot of anger, had a lot of resentment, and, there was a lot of support that I needed while I was going through this during this time. And my social worker actually was very, very supportive of me. When I was about 15 years old, I came in contact with her, and I'm still in contact with her now. She's like my second mom. I absolutely love her because she stuck through with me during those hard times, but she was one of those support people that really, really supported me while I was in foster care.
You mentioned the need for support. Tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you faced and the support systems that you needed.
So being a youth in foster care, there's a lot of people that make decisions for you in these different systems, whether it's mental health, DJJ, whatever system you're a part of, as well as the foster care system, child welfare system. So all these systems are making decisions in reference to your life, and you don't really, you're getting pulled in these different directions, and you don't really have an opportunity to say for yourself like what you need just based on your situation. And so I feel like the need is to allow these youth to have a voice, and I needed that. And I was given that through my support. My social worker gave me the opportunity, and then being a part of Say So, that's a youth advocacy board. It stands for Strong, Able Youth Speaking Out. So when I became a part of that advocacy board, I was able to voice what I needed as a young person in foster care.
And Stacy, having a voice like Marcella's at the table, being a part of your board for the Hope Center at Pullen is really crucial when you talk about supporting youth who are aging out of foster care.
It's very crucial. I mean, I think it's easy, we all know how boards can be, right? And sometimes you need that youth voice in there. It can get really, distracted by other things, and to have that constant reminder about what this work is really about and what matters is incredibly powerful.
As you were approaching 18 and looking to age out of foster care, and now you look at other youth who are in that situation, what are some of the most important elements of support that are needed that you think it's important for not only our viewers but for policymakers and lawmakers to know?
I think it's important to understand that like our youth, regardless of their situation, they're going to make mistakes, and even when they make mistakes, you still have to be consistent in supporting them. I think as far as education, they need support in education even when they go off, like whether it's, you know, you've helped them be in high school and that's where they are, you know, consistently being supportive in that situation, and then when they go off to college, getting them there, but also continuing to be a support while they're there, and just understanding that like they're missing so much when it comes to like supportive people in their lives. So wherever you can be a support in their life, even in their personal life, because I've had people that were like that for me, you know, and that's the stuff that helps me be able to go to college and get a job, because I have support in my personal life and things that people may not think about.
And having that support system is extremely important. I know that through the Hope Center at Pullen, there are young people who are doing incredibly well, who are going off to college and having successful careers. Talk a little bit about your success rate with the organization and the impact that it's making on the lives of youth who are aging out of foster care.
Well, kind of like Marcella said, when you really let the youth drive this, it's amazing the things that they can do. This is a very resilient group of young people. We're really excited that 60% of our young people are in some type of post-secondary education, which compare that to the 10% I mentioned earlier. One of the most exciting changes we've seen is that typically young people who are 24 who have aged out of foster care, only about half will be employed, and 100% of our young people are employed. So, and I really think it speaks to the resiliency, and if they're given the opportunity and the supports that Marcella's talking about, they can really flourish and do some pretty amazing things.
Right. Now, Marcella, as I mentioned, you are an advocate for youth who are in foster care. Tell us a little bit about your career and what you're doing now.
So currently I work for the Center for Family and Community Engagement at NC State, and basically what I do there is train social workers that work with youth in foster care on how to better their practice when they're working with that population. And then, as I said, I became a part of SAYSO when I was 15, but now I'm employed by SAYSO, and so I support those young people all across the state and just really show them that, like, even though you're in foster care, you can absolutely do it. Like, whatever it is that you want to do to be successful, and whatever success looks like for you, like, go get it, because you can do it. Like, I've done it, I'm here, like, and I'm still, you know, working and trying to get what I want, but you can absolutely do it. You just have to believe in yourself. And so I show them that, like, where I came from and who I am today, and show them that they can absolutely do that. And then also being a board member with the Hope Center, I have the opportunity to bring, like, all the experience that I have in working with the young people to the table, so that when we're making different decisions or talking about different things, I have that perspective. So it's really been awesome to be able to do that.
Excellent. And that is so important to have. I think it's probably a comfort for the youth that you interact with as well, to know that you're not just someone telling them what they should and shouldn't do. You've actually lived and been exactly where they are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love it because they really respond so well. Those are my babies, and I love them.
Again, it's so important to have people like Marcella be a part of the team and to help get youth who are aging out of foster care, youth who are going through foster care, navigating through the foster care system, just to have that support from someone who knows firsthand what they're going through.
It is, and I think it's also just an inspiration. I mean, you know, Marcella, we have kind of a joke in the office that one of our staff will ask a young person to do something and they won't listen, but we're like, well, maybe if Marcella mentions it, they'll do it. But, you know, I think it's also an inspiration, because I do think a lot of kids who have aged out or in the process of have given up a lot of hope. And so to see somebody like Marcella who can speak about it and who has gone through it gives them a lot of inspiration that it can happen for them too.
Marcella, as you continue to speak out for youth who are navigating through foster care, what message would you like to leave our viewers with, just to let them know the impact of organizations like the Hope Center at Pullen?
I would say that, like, our young people are so worth it, and the Hope Center really shows that because of the involvement that they have and taking it a step further than what we naturally have by the government. they're so worth it. They are so worth it. And they are just like your kids at home. They absolutely are. And with the love and support from the community, because I believe that it takes a village to raise children. Absolutely. Or a child, you know, with that support, our youth in foster care can really, really flourish. And like Stacey has said, like, they're so resilient. And if we just give them the opportunity to shine and show that, oh, they'll do it.
Absolutely. Well, Marcella, you are certainly an inspiration, and I know that you're a joy to have as an advocate for youth in foster care. We wish you all the best, and thank you so much for being here and sharing your personal story. And Stacey, we'll talk more with you in just a minute.
Thanks.
Still to come on Tar Heel Talk, how you can help support foster youth in our area. We'll give you details on an upcoming event when Tar Heel Talk continues. The Hope Center at Pullen connects young people aging out of foster care in Wake County with jobs, housing, education opportunities, all the resources they need to be successful in life. In support of this organization and foster youth, the Raleigh-Wake chapter of Jack and Jill of America will host Harnessing Hope, a jazz brunch supporting the Hope Center at Pullen. This event will take place on Saturday, May 7th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Prestonwood Country Club in Cary. Tickets can be purchased on Eventbrite or by logging on to jackandjillraleigh.org. Joining me now to tell us more about this event is Ife Parks, president of the Raleigh-Wake chapter of Jack and Jill, and of course Stacey Bluth, executive director of the Hope Center at Pullen. May 7th will be a huge event in support of the Hope Center. Ife, Jack and Jill, the Raleigh-Wake chapter of Jack and Jill is hosting this jazz brunch, but Jack and Jill is a national organization that really focuses on family and community service. Tell us a little bit about the organization.
Sure. Jack and Jill was founded in 1938, and today we have over 230 chapters throughout the United States. The Raleigh-Wake chapter has been was chartered over 65 years ago. Our primary focus, we're a membership organization with mothers who have children between the ages of 2 and 19 years old, and our primary focus is we believe we have the power to make the difference. And not only do we have that power amongst ourselves as mothers, we empower our children with that same slogan and that same motto. And so what we do is a lot of community service, we do a lot of philanthropic work, we do a lot of a lot of leadership development within our children, but most importantly we develop them to have those skills to reach out to other children. And so we connect with community, and one of the things that we're doing with the Hope Center at Pullen is throughout the year connecting our children, our youth, as well as our mothers with the children of Hope Center. And it's been a fantastic partnership this year.
And this jazz brunch that will happen on May 7th is kind of the grand finale or the big event of the year.
Yes.
Tell us what participants can expect in this year's jazz brunch.
Absolutely. So as you said, it's being hosted at the Prestonwood Country Club, which is a beautiful country club in Cary, North Carolina. We will have a fashion show from two designers that just premiered at the New York Fashion Show, New York Fashion Week, and one of them is from the House of DVF. So we're really excited about the couture looks that they'll be displaying. We will have a silent auction with fabulous gifts, small gifts as far as some baskets from spas all the way up to trips to Costa Rica. So definitely look forward to that. And then most importantly, the jazz. The jazz
Absolutely.
will be a live jazz band that is very well known throughout Raleigh, and we really look forward to the music and just the fellowship with the community, with Hope Center of Pullen and our families.
Absolutely. Mo Jazz is that jazz band that will be performing, and this will be a great event in support of a very worthy cause. Stacey, partnerships like the one that you have with the Raleigh Wake chapter of Jack and Jill is extremely important. As you were talking about, it takes a village and it takes a community effort to really support our youth aging out of foster care.
It definitely does, and we are just so grateful for the support they've provided. I mean, not only is it this event, but it really has been all year long. And when we talked earlier about building a support network for our young people, they've been doing that. These women and children have been coming in and bringing meals for our young people and helping celebrate birthdays, and hosted a phenomenal holiday party for our young people, things that really make a difference.
And that is something that you can kind of place a call to action to our viewers, because you need this not just once or twice a year, but really all year long to have that community support. What are some of the ways that our viewers can support the Hope Center?
So there are a lot of ways. A lot of them are listed on our website. We're always looking for volunteer mentors and tutors for our young people to help build their support network. And then things similar to what Jack and Jill has done for us this year. We have lots of groups where we need meals cooked for them, and apartment starter kits and things like that. And all those details are on our website.
And your website is hopecenter@pullen.org, or they can call 919-322-2751. You talk about the partnership between Raleigh Wake chapter of Jack and Jill and the Hope Center. And Ife, that support that you're providing to the Hope Center is not just a message for the children who are aging out of foster care, but for your own children and children in the community about the importance of giving back.
Absolutely, and that's really what we want to empower our children with, so that when they do age out of Jack and Jill at 19, or when they graduate from high school, that that becomes a way of life for them. And so every year we look for a charity to support that focuses on children, more than likely, and we develop our children in the chapter to partner with them. We want it to be more than just writing a check. We want it to be very hands-on for our children and our mothers.
Lifelong lessons there. Absolutely. I want to tell viewers how they can purchase tickets. The tickets are $65.
Correct.
They can go to the Raleigh Wake chapter of Jack and Jill's website, jackandjillraleigh.org, and purchase tickets from there, or they can also go to Eventbrite. Again, this is a jazz brunch that will be taking place on Saturday, March 7th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Lots of jazz, a fashion show, and it's all to support the Hope Center at Pullen. Stacey, as you look ahead to the next year and the work that needs to be done to help continue to support youth who are aging out of foster care, what are some of the greatest needs of the Hope Center?
So we've grown a lot in the past few years to meet the need, but there are still young people out there. We have a waiting list for the first time. And fortunately, with the help of organizations like Jack and Jill and others in the community, we're starting to meet that demand and meet that need. And that really is our end goal, is that any young person who's aging out of foster care in our community can have a place to go to get the support that they need.
Ife, I'll give you an opportunity to make a pitch for the jazz brunch and why people should come out and participate.
Absolutely. Well, besides the fact that it will be in support of a wonderful organization like the Hope Center of Pullen, it will also be an opportunity to get to know the work that Raleigh Wake does, the Raleigh Wake chapter of Jack and Jill. It will be an absolutely wonderful. It's the day before Mother's Day, so it's a wonderful time to bring your mother, bring any women in your family that you would want to, and definitely come and fellowship. The food will be fantastic, and just a great 3 hours of fun.
Right, it's a fun time for the entire family.
Absolutely.
Again, tickets are $65 and can be purchased by going to jackandjillraleigh.org, or just search for Raleigh Wake chapter of Jack and Jill on Eventbrite, but definitely opportunities to reach out. And we want to give people the contact information for the Hope Center at Pullen. Again, that is the Hope Center at pullen.org for your website, and 919-322-2751 for the organization that is making such a huge difference in the lives of our young people who are aging out of foster care. Stacey Bluth, Executive Director of the Hope Center, and Ife Parks, President of the Raleigh Wake chapter of Jack and Jill of America. Thank you both for the work that you're doing in the lives of our young people, and thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for this week's Tar Heel Talk. To comment on this or other episodes of the show, send us a message on our Facebook page or an email to tarheeltalk@fox50.com. I'm Sonia Williams. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again next week.